Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Got a story here a whole bunch of people sent me, and it's out of Missouri. City sells stolen car in error, won't share profits with victim. They won't share the proceeds, would be a better word, because they won't give her anything. And that's the problem. So from fox2now.com, Chris Hayes wrote this. Double dose of bad news for a woman there whose car was stolen, then recovered, and then mistakenly sold by the towing lot. Her car was stolen in St. Louis, where the city tow lot admitted its mistake. However, it won't give her the proceeds of the sale. She said, "It's pretty sad that I'm a victim twice." She had a 2006 Pontiac G6. It was stolen within a week of her buying it. She hadn't yet secured insurance for the vehicle when a car thief struck in South St. Louis this past May. A month later, her car was recovered and taken to the city's impound lot. "Every day I hoped I'd get it back, but I never got that phone call," she said. She only learned it had been recovered when she took the initiative to keep calling, but the tow lot told her, "Yeah, well, we had it, but we sold it." A City Hall spokesperson confirmed all of this to Fox 2, saying the tow lot staff acknowledges the mistake and has taken corrective action with the employee. Corrective action with the employee implies that they're going to punish the employee who screwed up, but that, of course, does not help the woman whose car is gone. So she bought the car for $3,000, and the tow lot sold it for $650. So she asked them, "Is there any way you can get the car back?" And they said no. So in addition, she claims that they also informed her that she does not deserve the $650. And first, he said, it was sold to a private owner, but we can't tell you who it is, and that there's also a $1,200 storage fee on it. So be glad we don't charge you for that. A City Hall spokesperson responded that the woman would have to file a complaint through the Citizens Service Bureau to ask for the $650 back from the tow yard, and she did that 6 days ago and is currently waiting for an answer. She said, "I don't understand why they would do this to me." In a statement to Fox 2, a city spokesperson said the tow lot has a specific set of protocols that must be followed prior to the sale of any vehicle in its possession, including verification of ownership. Yeah, that's one. Notification of the owner is another one. And it doesn't say that here, but trust me, it's there. Regarding this G6, the double verification process was not properly followed. To improve our internal processes, the division's policies have been changed to ensure that every step in the double verification process will be taken to contact the current owners of stolen or towed vehicles. The city says the answer to the woman's claim on her car should come in the form of a letter in the mail after their legal department, that is the city's, examines the matter. And so you could be thinking about this going, I wonder if I'm missing anything. It's possible that she only owned the car for such a short period of time that some paperwork hadn't made its way through the DMV. That's something I would look at here, because of the fact that she bought the car and it was stolen within 1 week. And so it was stolen within 1 week and recovered very quickly, and they ran something. The paperwork might not have been there. I'm just thinking out loud here. But more importantly, I've mentioned before, I used to drive a tow truck years and years and years ago, and we towed things for the city. And so there were times when, I can give you an example. I was called to a parking deck, and I go to this parking deck, and there's a police officer standing by a car in the middle of the aisle. And somebody had parked their car. It was a manual transmission, and I don't know if they just didn't set the e-brake properly or what they didn't do right, but the car kind of rolled out and stopped. It was blocking the main aisle of the parking deck. And so they go, "We need you to tow this car." And I go, "Tow it where?" And they go, "Tow it at the impound yard." And the city had an impound yard. So I hooked it up and towed it there. And I assume somebody came out of the store, and my car is gone. Probably called the police to report it stolen. And the police go, "Oh, you were in that particular parking lot? Was your car this, that, and the other thing?" "Yeah." "Okay, we know where it is. We towed it because it was blocking the main aisle of the parking deck." So you'd have to pay to get your car out of there, because obviously that's on you. However, if your car gets stolen, it does seem mildly unfair that someone steals your car, the city recovers it, they're going to charge you to recover it. Well, unfortunately, that happens. And if you don't have insurance that covers the theft, you're not going to have insurance most likely to cover the tow or the impound or any of that. However, that's only part of it. Because the real part here is that when they get the vehicle in their possession, they're required to notify the owner and say, we've got your vehicle in our possession. Here is how you get your vehicle back. And then they should also say, by the way, if you don't take steps to recover your vehicle, we will be forced to sell it and apply the proceeds of the sale towards the towing and the storage, et cetera, and the auction fees. So a $3,000 car is not going to realize a gigantic amount of money at an auction. So unfortunately, a lot of these wind up being a loss for everyone involved. The owner loses their car, the impound yard auctions it off, and the fees that they get from the impounds, the auction, the money they get from the auction doesn't cover their storage, their fees, their towing, all that stuff. So pretty much everybody loses. But here, obviously, mistakes were made. And if the impound yard, the towing company, is working as a contractor for the city, then guess what? Yeah, the city's in the hook too. So the city needs to make sure that the tow yards follow the law. Otherwise, they might wind up paying for this kind of stuff. But it's a crazy story, and I feel very sorry for the woman because I know that some people are going to say, gee, Steve, it's a $3,000 car. Well, you know, I had a whole bunch of El Cheapo cars when I was younger. First car I had, bought it in 1979 and paid $300 for it. 69 Dodge Charger with a 383, but $300. Now, factoring in for inflation, that very well could be about the same thing here. But the $300 car meant that I bought a car with 90,000 miles on it at the time, and it needed work from time to time. Had to put a new starter in it, had to put a new water pump into it at one point, went through a battery, bunch of other stuff, axle seals. But if it's your transportation, it's your transportation. And so a person's car can be both priceless and like a lifeline. Because without that, how do you get to and from work? How do you get your kids to and from school or to and from wherever you got to take them? And how do you get around? You know, so I have the most amount of sympathy possible for the woman, and I hope she gets something back. But it's the craziest thing because the city sold her car after it was stolen, but they sold it in error, which they admit. But they don't want to give her back the money they made, and there's no way they can really undo this deal. So thank you, everyone who sent it from fox2now.com out of Missouri. Chris Hayes wrote that. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. A good deed can benefit you as much as it does the other person.